It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Let's get out of here. Aye. Hey everybody, it's Aaron from God a Minute. I am outside. I'm going to stand. I like to be outside. The weather's getting colder. Let's get out of here. Let's get raptured. Aye, says Enrico. Get tight with Christ because our time is short. Hopefully we fly very soon. Is 2030 still a potential second coming? Man, is it still so perfect. So I wanted to talk about that. I watched the Messiah 2030 video. I'll have to link that video in the description box. He talked about, he revisited a lot of information that I've shared before, somewhere around the 45-minute mark, 50-minute mark, somewhere in that time frame. And this is, I'll just remind you guys again, and I'm just going to add one more thing in this video too, which is quite interesting. So we've got this Ezekiel 390-day prophecy. We've got this is in chapter 4. Maybe I'll grab the Bible as I'm just talking out loud too, and I'll read you some passages. Ezekiel 4. And we also have this 40-day prophecy in Ezekiel 4. So let's do a quick review of that. Let's grab it while it's on the mind here. And so we have a 390 days in Ezekiel 4 verse 5. For I have laid on you the years of their iniquity according to the number of the days, 390 years. So you shall bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. In verse 6, and when you have completed them, lie again on your right side. Then you shall bear, whoops, there goes the wind, the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days, and have laid on you a day for each year. So we got our 390-year count there, and we've got our 40-day count there for the house of Judah and for the house of Israel. The house of Israel is 390, the house of Judah is 40. Leviticus 26, we're just reviewing things that we've talked about before, and but we're just going to hit it real quick. And Leviticus 26 is talking about the time of punishment. Let's just get it here. Leviticus 26, verse 18, and after all this, if you do not obey me, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sin. So that's Leviticus 26, verse 18, also verse 21, also verse 24, also verse 28. So we have the summarized version of Ezekiel chapter 4 paired with Leviticus 26, and you got some numbers and you got some math. So there was a siege in Jerusalem, 701 BC. 390 times 7 equals 2,730. And that lands you on a 2030 second coming. That's just for the house of Israel. So the house of Israel, the punishment for them for 390 times 7 from that siege gets you to 2030. If you go from the siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD, and you take a 40-year gap between 30 AD and 70 AD, that's 40. 40 times 7 as per Leviticus 26, times another 7 as per Leviticus 26, lands you on 2030. So we got this house of Israel, their punishment ending in 2030, and the house of Judah, their punishment ending in 2030. Perfect. It's still perfect. It's perfect. I have a hard time walking past this perfection of it all. So another additional thing with this is in Ezekiel, it's saying that like both of their punishments are kind of done in 2030, but it says in Ezekiel 37, when it's talking about, it just finished talking about the house of Israel in Ezekiel 37, but now we're talking about the house of Judah. So we'll just skip to verse 17. Then join them, one to another for yourselves, into one stick. So at the end of all this, he's going to join them together, Israel and Judah. No more two different places. It's just going to be one king, it says in verse 22. And I will make them one nation in the land, on the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king over them all. They shall no longer be two nations, nor shall they ever be divided into two kingdoms again. And then it talks about David, and it says, David shall be their prince forever. But we know that Jesus comes from the seed of David. It says that in the New Testament that Jesus is the son of David. and the eternal covenant was given to David. And David died 3,000 years before 2030. So when will the house of Israel and when will the house of Judah, when will their punishment be finished and complete? In 2030. And King David died 3,000 years before 2030. I have such a hard time looking past that still as a second coming. So we're still in a special window of that. Oh, I dropped the pencil crayon here. So that's that. Now another thing that I wanted to add was Jesus fasted for 40 days. And let's back up a bit here. Judah sold Joseph for 20 pieces of silver. Judah sold Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. So where's the 40? Where is the 40? We saw the 20. We saw the 30. Where is the 40? And how does that line up with all this? Well, Jesus immediately went to the wilderness. It says that in Mark that he immediately went into the wilderness. But there's more context in the book of Matthew and Luke. So the interesting thing is he was tempted 3 times by Satan, also known as the devil. And the interesting thing is, well, let's pull it up here. They're both in chapters 4 of those respective Gospels. Why don't we just start with Luke, since I got it open and ready to go here. Here's the interesting thing. After the third temptation, it says in Luke 4, verse 13, "Now when the devil had ended every temptation, he departed from him until an opportune time." So the story wasn't complete after this 40 days of temptation being in the wilderness. Now, here's our 40. Now, from the destruction temple in 70 AD, 40 times 7 gets us, is 1960, and that gets us to 2030. So 70 AD plus 1960 gets you to 2030 AD. Jesus fasts for 40 days, gets tempted from Satan, but at the end of it, the devil just kind of takes off for a bit. But the story wasn't complete. Could this 40 days of fasting in the wilderness represent the exact same time of Judah's punishment? I think so. And if we take this 40 days, was this a prophecy that Jesus is going to come back? Because we know that in Revelation 20, let's get that, Revelation 20, verse 2, "He laid hold of that dragon, that serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal on him, so that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years were finished. But after these things, he must be released for a little while." So, could this 40-day fasting be a prophecy to 2030, where he throws Satan into a pit for 1,000 years? Because after this temptation, Satan kind of just takes off. I find it pretty fascinating. Now, in addition to this, let's go back to either Luke 4 or Matthew. It doesn't really matter which one we go to, but let's see here. Because it says in Luke 4, verse 9, "Then he brought him to Jerusalem, set him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said to him, 'If you are the Son of God, throw yourself from here.'" So we're dealing with Jerusalem, but which is very special because we know we're waiting for the New Jerusalem, right, at the end of the book of Revelation. So there's that. Hold on to that thought. But let's go to verse 5. "Then the devil, taking him up on a high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time." Now, it doesn't say which mountain. It just says on a high mountain. But I did a quick little Google, and it said that Mount of Olives is the highest mountain in that area. So it's possible that Satan brought him to the Mount of Olives, which many people agree that will be the second coming, that Jesus will come and put his feet down on the Mount of Olives. Here is Satan, after 40 days of tempting, bringing him to potentially the Mount of Olives, or at least some sort of a mountain. Could have, if it was the Mount of Olives, isn't that so perfectly, prophetically amazing? being tempted on the very mountain that he would come 2,000 years later to complete this whole story, be one king over Israel and Judah, 3,000 years from the death of King David. It's perfect. It's perfect if he actually brought him to the Mount of Olives. I mean, my goodness, it's good. So, my summary, I'm dropping everything everywhere here. My summary is we've got a perfect independent prophecy for the house of Israel ending in 2030. Number one. Number two, we've got a perfect prophecy of the house of Judah ending in 2030. If Jesus actually died in 30 AD, which we talked about many, many times, and we're going to count from the destruction of the temple in 70 AD, we have a perfect third thing to add to this, that Jesus fasted in the wilderness for 40 days. Could that represent the 1960 years as well to the second coming? So we got house of Israel, house of Judah, time of fasting before the ministry of Jesus. Times 7 brings us to potentially 2030. I think it's awesome. We will wait and see. Now, my final thought here is this. If we want to squish it down here and look at 2030, and let's just pretend that it's a month off. So let's just be really safe here and say that 2030 might be a month off. If you minus 7 prophetic years from Day of Atonement being a month later than what it says on the Torah calendar, just to give ourselves wiggle room, that brings us to the middle of November of this year. So in my mind, this whole second coming 2030 is going to really crash and burn around the middle of November of this particular year. I sure hope we don't have to wait that long for the rapture. I hope we rapture this second. I don't know when it's going to be. I'm available all month of September. I'm available all through October. My schedule is open all through November. And if we're still here, I am available in December. I am available January 2024. I'm available every day of the week. But I say all that to say, I think as we study and grow, I think we will know. And I hope it's today. And so keep on looking up. And guys, if you want to hop on our Discord, links are in my description box below. If you want to support this ministry, I'm doing this full time. This is what I'm doing. So if you want to support, please consider donating. Those links are in the description box below. I have t-shirts and mugs just for fun. I don't really hardly make anything off that stuff, but if you want it, I think they're awesome evangelism tools. I think it's very fun. Go Jesus go. See you in the clouds. One day closer. Love you guys. Hope to see you in the clouds like today-ish, like now-ish. Ay. Oi, I should get Enrico's helmet or something. Let me go get it. We'll be right back. Hey, it's Enrico, guys. I hope we get out of here very soon. Oh, those bricks over there. Oi! 527, 528. Hey, where we going? Hey! Let's get out of here, man. It's going crazy. I can't stand it anymore. I just wanna fly. Hey! Okay, take it easy, guys, okay? One day closer. Hallelujah, I'll see